Welcome to Optimal Frequency. I'm Grant. I talk to spirits here at my house using a method that I developed. I've been making a few less videos because I have so many chores around here. And in fact, I wouldn't be making a video at all today, except I screwed up my shoulder somehow yesterday. Woke up in the middle of the night, big pain. Kind of comes from the middle of my back, up over the top of my shoulder, and right down to this tendon right here. So I was supposed to be putting on a new roof on the gazebo today. I'm going to postpone that for a day or two till I get feeling better. I did find some relief at about 3 or 4 in the morning by leaning against the freezer, the coldness of the freezer into the back, and it just kind of like massaged my back like that. So helpful tip for you old timers that are suffering like me. I put an air conditioner in the window yesterday upstairs, and I had a big cutout of wood, and I had the air conditioner in it, and I had to lift this big cutout, so maybe that's what did it, not sure. I've decided I'm gonna, like I said, take the day off from doing physical stuff. So let's do from my list of mysteries here that you guys have sent me, let's randomly select one of these numbers. Okay, so we have 68 mysteries we have not tackled. I'm going to push this button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Number 31. Number 31. Wow, that is weird. The Nazi occult division. That's a weird synchronicity because of D-Day, I've been watching a whole ton of World War II stuff. This is kind of weird how that just fits with what I've been watching the past month. I've watched all of Band of Brothers. I have it sitting here right beside me. Well, not quite all. I have a couple episodes left of that to go. I watched Saving Private Ryan. I watched the Nuremberg Trials on Netflix. And a couple other things like old World War II stuff. So that is crazy. I've been on a World War II binge. And now we're going to do a little investigation. We're going to talk to the spirits about this Nazi occult division. Let's get into this. Okay, so I'm doing some research here on this Nazi and occultism, and I think you could go into a whole ton of information, weeks and weeks of reading on this. I'm seeing some similar plot lines here, and I'm also having a hard time finding what I would call a solid source. So I'm reading an article right now from the Washington Post. I would call that more solid than some of the other stuff I've read up to this point. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to make a storyboard and spend hours doing that. I'm just going to try and pick out 10 or 12 questions. I want to do a 10-minute session at the sink. I want to try a new method or a new, what's the word I'm looking for here, buddy? A new experiment, I guess, based on, where is it? Gary gave me this GoPro here. So like GoPro 6, I think he said it was. He has a whole bunch of these things, so he just gave me one for free, so that's pretty cool. And he wanted me to try something with this, so I'm going to try that today. So like I said, what I want to do is just pick out 10 or 12 cohesive questions that seem to be the main idea that is kind of agreed upon about the Nazis and the occult. Ask the spirits that, because what most interests me are these phrases, of course, and these words and sentences we get back from the tap. Testing, testing. Never used this before. Shows a red flashing light and it's counting, so I guess it's recording. Let's do this. Okay, we got 12 questions. You, sir. Quit your stretching and go lay down. Got some work to do here, mister. Sugar bowl going into the sink. Clean that out. Okay. recording. It's a little low. So something happened as I was putting all of this together and exporting the film and getting it ready to edit it and listen to it. I noticed watching that GoPro film as it was pointed upwards out of that sugar bowl, when the water covered it and all the dancing lights, I said, geez, that reminds me of what some of you subscribers have told me from the Reddit page a few 2-3 months ago. Told me, go check out this woman from Brazil. I forget her name. She uses light and smoke and she talks to the spirits and she takes these images and she goes through it frame by frame. And I'm like, man, that kind of looks like her work. These still images. So I took the film and I started going through it. I literally spent probably at least an hour going through it frame by frame by frame, thinking, well, are there any cool pictures in here or hidden snapshots of another dimension, you could call it, like pictures of faces or things like that? I didn't find anything super clear, like somebody staring back at me, but I found some interesting things here. And I'd like to take a minute and show you guys. I know this is different than what I normally do, but I found it so interesting. I even had a conversation with Gary, and I was sharing the pictures with him, and we were talking about it, and he was looking at them. And yes, we realize that we're programmed to see images or faces and things, so I get it. It's the same thing as the audio pareidolia. You can have the visual here and make, Jesus' face and a piece of toast, that kind of thing. I get it. But I'm going to share what I found interesting, show you a few of these snapshots. Okay, so I figured it might be easiest if I show you this in my editing software for JPEGs and all that stuff. This area right here, that's a light source. This blue is the light above the oven. So, and up here, well, right here was the light above the sink. Okay, so those areas are going to have the most bright and changing weird things, right? But what I want you to check out, so this was the first one I took. It's very close to the second one I'm going to show you, but just to show you how it changes. So look up in this area here. See, it's just kind of like a smoothed over area. Okay, so here's the second photo, and you see my face down there, my yellow t-shirt, so nothing's changed there. But up in this corner, right here, I'm circling it. It looks like a face to me. All of a sudden, that's appeared there. So, again, this could be nothing. All right, so there was the face up there on that corner that I found interesting. And then if you look at this little blue swirl, it kind of almost looks like smoke the way it's changing as well, just from the lights and that. I could see like a little figure, like if his head was, I'll put it on first and then I'll erase it. So if his head was here, his shoulders are here, here's his body, whoops, here's his body. Right, and he's got these like little swoopy things coming out of his hands. Let me erase all that stuff so you can see it. I'm not saying it is, but it's interesting. Oh yeah, so this one here, this is weird, okay? I'll tell you what I see in this. So the water that moves in the bowl, these little bubbles of water can be like a magnifier of sorts, right? I swear this is almost like a side profile of my own face. Check this out. So this area right here, that's my cheek. Okay, here's my eye. This is my forehead. This is a little piece of gray hair right there on my forehead. This gray right here would be hair, like I'm trying to beside my ear. My hair is crazy and I need a haircut right now. But it totally looks like my forehead comes down here, and then my nose, and then my mouth area, would be here somewhere. And of course, you got the big yellow shirt I was wearing. So two things about that I found weird was, one, I'm turned to the side when really I should be looking down into the sugar bowl. It's possible I turned to the side. And the second interesting thing is that how it's so big and amplified, taking up the whole camera screen, if that truly is a side shot of me, which it really does look like it. So this one here, you can kind of see like a fuzzy face. You got this dark area surrounding something that kind of looks like a nose here, an eye there. Not sure. Just kind of interesting. Okay, so this shot I found super interesting. The whole thing is fuzzy, convoluted lights flashing everywhere, and yet you got one little bubble of clarity down here with me in it. So I don't see anything crazy faces or anything anywhere, but I just found that was really weird. And that's the only shot, okay? In the film that I took, there would be 23,400 individual pictures, and they're all different. Each frame is different, so I don't have time to go through all of it. I literally sat here going spacebar, 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 and every time I hit the spacebar, it would jump, I don't know, 40, 50 frames or something, right? And I would just look at it and go, oh, that's cool, next, next. And I did that, like I say, for an hour. But out of all the pictures I saw, nothing looked like this, where it was just like one little bubble of clarity. Right, so this one here, check this little area out over here. Looks like, to me, a guy crouching, leaning forward, and kneeling, okay? So I'll just show you. Here's his head. Big wide shoulders here. One arm there, one arm there. Then he's got a knee that comes up and another leg here. So let me get rid of all that pink stuff. That's what I see. A little figure crouching, but again, of course, it could be nothing. Oh, as I'm looking at it right now, could be like a very faint face up in there. Okay, so this one I had a weird feeling about. Like this, it's this section right here, okay? I see, this is a woman's closed eye right there. This whole section here, that's her cheek. This is the bridge of her nose. You can actually see like where her nostril would be right there. And it's just like, it's almost like a little clip of, you see the side of her face, and she has very smooth skin and she's young. I don't know, I just had a weird feeling that, yes, that was an image. Like a spiritual feeling. I don't know. Okay, so this one here, up in this area, right? This would be a guy's nose right here. You got these two big eye cavities here on either side. So up in here would all be like his forehead. Again, nothing super clear, but different than the other pictures I looked at. Again, over here, some kind of face in there. Some kind of morphing face. And I took these and I did not mark them where they were. So I don't know at what point in the film, what I was asking. And I didn't take, 3 or 4 pictures on either side of it to see how it morphs. I just kind of, like I said, spacebar, spacebar. Ooh, I see a face. Again, the weird part is you got all these bubbles and flashes of light, all these white areas. And then you got this like outline of like, I don't know what that would be. Skin tone color, right? Could be, again, a face. You got possibly 2 eyes. More experimentation needed with this one because I find it very interesting. Okay, so the first thing that struck me about this was that looked like an eye to me. Of course, it's just a bubble of water, but then as I got looking more, if you look down right in the center here, I see a little face in there. Very small eye, eye. There's a mouth there. It's not Jesus on toast, but close. Okay, this one I did find interesting. So the first thing that caught my attention was this. I was looking at it, but I don't really know what that would possibly be. But then as I looked more at the picture here, check this out. That looks like a black and white photo of a woman. She's got hair framing her face. I don't know. I like that one. So on this one, possibly a guy with, here's a mustache. His beard goes up that way and around his chin that way. Right? So a man with a beard? I don't know. Anyways, I found that quite interesting. Let's push on with what we hear as opposed to what we see. Better do my prayer of protection. Stop that for a minute. Okay, so this is very interesting to me. I forgot to say my prayer of protection, so I stopped it, I shut off the water, and I proceed to do that for, I don't know, 45 seconds or whatever, right? I want to show you this. Pay attention as I'm saying my prayer of protection in my head. Listen to what's going on around me. It's so quiet in the house, you can hear the clock ticking, you can hear the birds chirping outside, okay? And then I'm going to switch over and show you something interesting. Okay, so this is the two tracks again. This is the Panasonic camera in my hand or on the countertop there. This is the GoPro in the sugar bowl. So right here, I said I better do my prayer of protection. Better do my prayer of protection. Stop that for a minute. Okay, stop that for a minute. So I'm stopping the water. This right here should all be silence. Now I've amplified this a lot, like, I don't know, 30, 40 decibels, and cleared it up a little bit with vocal isolation. I can hear a few words and things going on in here, but the main important thing I want you to hear this, so you just saw what the camera sounded like, where you could hear the ticking clock and the birds outside. It was fairly quiet, right? There's definitely no conversation going on. I hear a man and a woman talking. Check this out. Did you hear that? A guy just said right here, he said yes. Now, that voice, you will hear it continued over here, but let's play that again. I think a woman says something about light, and then a man says yes. Yes. He says something about part of this group, and then the woman talks again right here. Listen again. Okay, so it's super fuzzy, super muddled. You can't hear what they're saying. But the fact that it's there, okay? One other thing I need to note on this was that yesterday, before I did this session, before I ran it through the artificial intelligence, Crisp forced me to upgrade again to their latest version. So what effect that has on my footage here, I don't know. Again, I'm hearing a woman and a man talk when there should be no talking. And of course, I had to go to some sub-level of cranking that up, literally like 40 decibels. So again, right here below on this track, this should all be technically silent as well. This is the GoPro sitting in the sugar bowl, so I haven't even listened to this. Now, after I finished my prayer of protection, I turned the water back on, and we get, more syllables and voices going on, which I haven't analyzed. This video is getting long. I'm going to cut it into 2 parts. So join me next time. We'll actually get into the Nazi occult division. And I have no idea the 12 questions I asked, what kind of answers we're going to get. But as usual, I think it'll be pretty interesting. Thanks for watching, everyone.